Hi guys, welcome back to the Details and Hindsight podcast. I'm your host, Maddy Brown. If you have not yet already, hit that follow button, subscribe, and if you're on Spotify, hit that 5-star review so I can reach more military spouses just like you. And if you're on YouTube, hit that notification button so you don't miss an episode. All right, let's just get into it. So I actually have been getting a lot of questions on my TikTok, and I had a few pop up from a few videos as well. There was a lot of very consistent questions as well, so the ones that I'm asking here are not the only ones that I got. I actually have been getting a lot of private DMs, which I'm very grateful for, you guys. I'm glad you guys feel confident. You can reach out to me. I hope I answer them the best to my ability. I know I'm not perfect here, but I thought it'd be a great idea to turn this episode into a answering the newbies questions episode. There are plenty of people that are going through the same stuff you guys are going through, so yeah, we'll just kind of dive right into it. So we'll kind of go. I am going to keep everybody's usernames private just so that way, everyone's going through their own things. Just want to keep that separate so you guys don't feel like you're being called out either. This first question goes, my husband and I are moving for the first time and I don't know where to start. I have so many questions and all the PCS terminology is so confusing. Any advice is appreciated. Oh my gosh, I did answer this on the TikTok, but I also wanted to say this because this is not the only one I've got on this PCS stuff. PCS is hard and it's scary, especially if it's your first time. I highly recommend going to my video about PCS, like the basics that I talk about on my channel. But where I would start is I would actually figure out where you're moving first. That's going to dictate the rest of the move, where it's overseas versus in-state. There's a lot of different levels to a move, and if you have the financial ability to do a Diddy move, which is a do-it-yourself move, or if you want the movers to do it, there are so many ways to go about it, but that first piece you're going to need is where you're going. And that could be actually one of the hardest things to get. That pre-PCS, I know I'm moving, but I don't know where era is very difficult. So my heart is with you, and you are not the only one. There's a lot of us that are going through that, and a big PCS season is on the way. I can feel it. There's so many of you guys asking me what the deal is with PCSing. But yeah, first step would be, let's figure out where you're moving. Second step would be, okay, talk with your partner, your spouse, about what financially you guys can do. A lot of people try to do the Diddy move so they can pocket some cash. A lot of people will want their sanity and have the movers do it. It really all just depends on like what your speed is, but I have a whole episode on that as well if you want to take a look at that. So I hope that answers that question. Yeah, but thank you for asking. I really appreciate it, and you're not the only one. Okay. This one's a little tricky. Blank asks, I found out my fiance will be deploying the same year as our wedding. We have not been given dates or duration. All we know is that he's going whether he wants to or doesn't. I'm crushed that he may miss this day. We've been planning for almost a year. Should we just legally get married or not before he leaves? What are the benefits of us being legally married before he ships off? Yeah, you get like medical insurance and like the pay is definitely different, but the question I really have for you is, can you handle the first year or 9 months, depending on how long that deployment is, of your marriage separated? I don't wish that on anybody. I have done that, and it's not that I don't regret that, but I definitely wish I got married a month before he left. Like, you really don't want to just get married and then ship him off. That's really hard on the soul. There's just something in the soul that happens that you're supposed to be celebrated and excited. Like, a lot of your happy parts are going to be spread out if you get married right before the ship date. So if you are going to get married, I highly encourage you to give yourself like a honeymoon buffer so you can enjoy that. But that is really more my question for you, is like, can you handle that? And if not, that's okay. If you can't, great. Like, that is a personal question that everybody has their own answer to. It is not an easy boat to be in. I have been in that boat, and it's hard because it's like there's a lot of emotions leading up to that moment of like, okay, should we just elope? Should we just do this? Should we just do that? Well, these people are upset. I'm upset. Like, there's so many things that play into that. So I really just take it day by day and then follow your gut. I'm a Christian, so I would pray on it and I'd really work with God on it. And I highly encourage you to do that, and just understand that he won't be home for your first year of marriage, really. So You just kind of have to be prepared for that. But I know you can do it. I did it. So if I can do it, anyone can do it. And I'm an emotional mess. Not encouraging to people to go and elope without thinking it through. But I guess that is my big question is, can you handle the distance, especially for your first year of marriage? It is different. There's just like this chemically, spiritually difference when you're married. And I don't know how to describe it in some ways, but is like that union is not a joke. So, and when Austin's gone, it hurts a lot. This is my second round of long distance. The first one was when we first got married. So, I don't recommend it on a spiritual level right away. I wish, if you're going to do it, make sure you have a buffer to enjoy the honeymoon phase a little bit. But at the same time, like, he's in the military. So it's really, what can you handle in that situation? So I'm going to put that question back onto you. I'm sorry if that doesn't answer it, but that really is a you question. I don't want to give any advice that, like, oh, I got married and it sucks. I'm like, well, that'd be terrible. Okay, next question. Here we go. Okay. My husband is deployed and I've been with him since before boot camp, but this is our first deployment. The nights are hard. I can't sleep, and when I do have horrible dreams, how do I make it better? I do know it takes time, but it hurts. Whew. Yeah, I feel you on that. I get really bad nightmares and I get sleep paralysis sometimes, and it's not fun, especially when your partner is like your safety net in your space. This sounds really stupid, but I actually sometimes will make like a little pillow fort for me. And then I'll use my dogs as like cuddle. Like, thankfully Oakley likes to cuddle, but I will use my dogs as cuddle buds. I mean, I do whatever I can to like make my sleeping situation the most peaceful. And then I also highly recommend making like a nighttime routine that benefits you. So I try my best to turn off the screens a little bit. I have like lights that turn off and on when like it's morning time or nighttime. Like, I really try my best to build a rhythm, so it's not just like, okay, good night. Like, just try your best to avoid the doom scrolling and just meditate before bed. I pray before I go to sleep. That really helps with the nightmares. There's a lot of ways this can go, but I also think if it really gets to a point that you can't handle the sleep, go see a therapist so someone can kind of talk you through it better and can describe a better nighttime routine for you and can give you better tools to equip you that is personalized to you. I do recommend therapy for that because they really know how to intricately put that together, if that makes sense. But I feel you. You're not alone in that. But I hope it's getting better. Okay, here we go. Next question. Okay. My husband is going on second deployment, first while being with me in April. We have a 2-year-old and I am due with our second in June. Any tips on how to handle the emotional part of giving birth without him? Yeah, that is very tricky. I am not a mom. I don't want to speak on behalf of motherhood because I don't know that journey. So I really want to make sure that you guys know, like, I don't want to speak without acknowledging that. That is the case for a lot of spouses. That is not new. You are not new to that situation. I highly recommend flying in your support team from moms or aunts or whoever, so you're not alone. I think you did mention that in the comment section, so it looks like you won't be alone, which I'm really grateful for. You do not have to be alone in that situation, but I just highly encourage you to feel the emotions and not hold on to any resentment and just really work with God in prayer. You're going to love this baby either way, whether he is there or not. And the point of birth is to welcome new life, and it's not going to be the way that you imagined it. And I'm really sorry for that. However, I think we just want to pivot our mindset because, who knows, maybe I might be in your shoes one day. But, if I was in that case, I would really want to pivot my mindset and just really focus on the kid and really focus on, bringing the new life into this world and not have that kid feel the stress that I'm feeling. Everything that you're feeling is valid. And, you're just going to have to take it step by step. Okay, here we go. The next question. Is there a specific place I can go to make friends? I don't know about place on base. Depends on the base, honestly. I know some bases have like an intro party kind of thing. Some bases don't do anything. Some bases, it really just depends on the group you're kind of going into. However, I personally would recommend having friends in the military, absolutely, but also like branching out, going to church, joining a small group, going to the gym, joining like a gym class like consistently and making friends there. There's so finding a hobby that you like. So if it's not the gym, okay, maybe you liked pottery, go to a pottery class. I used to go to a bunch of plant nurseries and take like I'd go and like do potting classes, which were fun, and I got to meet people that way. There's a lot of things available in the area, and a lot of bases are in small towns, but hopefully there's something up your alley that you can join. A lot of people do the Bumble BFF. That is a great way also to make friends in your vibe and your interests. I haven't done it yet, but I've heard really good things about it. And then also just social media, reaching out on Facebook groups, putting yourself out there. I think the hardest part about being a spouse is that you get comfortable at the base you're at, and then the military is like, all right, switch it up, and then you gotta move and you gotta start all over and you gotta make new friends. Each time you move, it gets easier because you will be more confident in yourself to reach out and to join the Facebook pages and to join the community boards and to go to these social events. I know it's so hard to put yourself out there like that, and it may not be easy at the first base and it may not go well the first time, but just keep doing it, because the longer you're isolated, the harder it will be, and I promise you that. So let's keep this energy of like trying to meet people, and it does not have to be on base. Do not, the military is your life, but it's not your personality. So we can keep going and keep, making friends outside of that area, but it does not mean that you don't need to make friends on base either. Just once a month, I highly recommend going to a class or a pottery class or something that like gets you out of the house. All right, next question. Been with my husband for 7 years, but I've only been a spouse for 2. How do you keep yourself busy when he's on trips? We only have a truck and I can't drive it because I'm too short. But what is the places to go, military discounts, etc.? How to keep yourself busy? Okay. I would say the best way to keep yourself busy is to kind of like feed into your interests. So if you're into crafts, kind of boils down to my last question, but if you're like into crafts, then like go to craft classes and stuff. That's a great way. I think since you're stuck at home, that makes it a little harder. I would invest in like a good laptop. You got to make the best of your spot, right? So, okay, like maybe we organize a bedroom, be intentional with your house and how, it functions, and it's not just like this like doom scroll epicenter weekly and it's just like not as productive. Really try to like pick one thing a week that you're like, oh, I'm going to do this. So that way you feel productive by the end of the week, but also you're not just sitting on the couch every day. I really recommend people just going and trying little workout routines. There's so many available on YouTube. You do not need like one of these big crazy passes. Like you can easily just do it at home. So that's how I started working out back in 2019. You don't need a crazy gym pass. Like you can do a lot of things from the house. I highly recommend finding like YouTubers that make them like the most in their home life and really feed into your passions. Maybe it's knitting, maybe it's pottery, maybe it could be anything. I would just say like whatever your passion is, I would say feed into that and let that explode into your home life, if that makes sense. If you guys have any questions as well, feel free to comment it down below. My inbox is always open. My comment section is always open. I just want you guys to feel comfortable to ask these questions, because also when you guys ask, other military spouses learn from the questions as well. There's so many newbies, which I'm really grateful for, but I just want you guys to feel more equipped moving forward into this new season of being a military spouse as well. And maybe you're a veteran spouse and you're learning new things too, and there's so many things that change with the military world that keep constantly rotating, so it's never an ending learning cycle, that is for sure. But thank you guys for watching this episode. I really appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind giving it a 5-star review, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.